the only thing to add to this whole question of reconciliation at this point, here is West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin. He's with CNN's Manu Raju. And Manchin had been talking about trying to delay the reconciliation bill to 2022. Now, the Republicans are already planning to spend millions of dollars attacking the Democrats for tax hikes. They probably won't mention on people who are making more than $400,000 a year, but that's their plan to run against the Democrats in 2022. The idea that you would push this reconciliation bill into 2022 is essentially saying it's one of those, tell me that you want to kill this bill without telling me that you want to kill this bill. And, but
they don't want to have that conversation in an election year.
Here is Manchin maybe stepping off that just a little bit.
He would never.
And if there's not enough clarity, then you need to get clarity, and people need to know what tax reforms and where we stand nationwide and where the inflation is, all the things I've talked about.
You want to delay till next year, right?
No, I didn't. You know what I said? I said, let's wait and see whatever we need. We'll have a good idea. The main thing is inflation. If it's transitory or not, we have a better idea as, once we get into it a little bit longer. But right now, inflation's still high, and now we understand that natural gas prices are higher than they've ever been in West Virginia, too. And the people that end up paying the highest is the ones that can't afford it. Mm-hmm. So we got to worry about all these things.
Yes, and by the way, just an aside, I made $500,000 as a part of my holdings in a coal company, and so I have no opinions on the matter in just 1 year.
It's interesting to just note that he didn't say, well, no, I didn't say next year. I just said, wait and see. Now, wait and see could be 7 months. He does this
all the time.
Or it could be 2 weeks.
He floats something out to the media, and he knows that they'll pick it up. And if he doesn't get the response he wants, or if leadership talks to him later behind the scenes, he backs off of it.
I think the whole sort of push that inflation is not transitory seems to have died down. Like, you just don't see the reports because everybody's starting to see that, at least some of the prices have peaked. The bottom line is that there are supply chain problems. It's not that we don't have the capacity to produce what people want. It is that we do not have the supply chains. They have been disrupted temporarily because we've had this thing called a pandemic. We sent shipping containers all around the globe off of the beaten trade paths, if you will. And so you've got shipping containers that in normal times would add $2,000, $2,500 to the cost of whatever was in the shipping container. And now they're adding 10 times that because the shipping container is not in the place where it normally is. That is not inflation that is caused by demand outstripping the capacity of our economy to supply. It is, we have temporary logistical problems. And he knows this at that point, but maybe he's waiting for that to shake out.
It's transitory. We just don't know the answers to all these questions yet.
It's impossible to know.
It's just a useful tool for him to point to this phenomenon that's going to die down in a few months to push a greater austerity and stuff. And I just want to point out too, because I know that it fascinates me endlessly how the media chooses to say a bill that has spending that spreads out over 10 years is 3.5 trillion or whatever. That kind of framework helps his argument that it's going to create some sort of inflation. It's something like 350 billion in spending in the first year. That's something that's very different than what he's trying to assert there. And I think that needs to be pointed out a bit more.
All right, we got to take a quick break. Come back, wrap things up. Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.